Hey guys, thanks for joining me today. Today I'm going to do a review on Soundspot Oracle. So I'm just going to bring in an instance of it. Okay, so Oracle is basically just a reverb effects chain plugin. So everything a reverb would need is inside this one plugin. It's freaking awesome. So it just makes life so much easier, or it makes mixing easier. So they have a algorithmic reverb instead of a convolution reverb to purposefully save CPU usage. So, and obviously I appreciate that, that's great, especially if you've got a ton of tracks and you need reverb everywhere and you need reverb to do different things. This plugin kicks ass. Okay, so let's go through the parameters. So we've got, obviously you've got the reverb settings, we've got pre-delay, time, which is the length of the tail. You've got dampening and you've got the mix. Let's put that at 100. To activate and deactivate each of these settings on the left here, you just click the round circle over here. Okay, imaging. Obviously, typical stereo imaging, which is great. Yeah. Usually with stereo imaging plugins, the effect can start to sound a little bit papery, like very, very thin. So we'll see what this one does. You've got a filter here just to kind of EQ what you want, where you want the reverb to be prominent. And you've got different effects that you can put on your reverb. You've got saturation, you've got an LFO. So the LFO will either increase the reverb over time or decrease it over time. And you've got a choice between a 30-second note all the way through to 32 bars. So you can be really, really creative with your effects here. And you've got a flanger setting. Flange is cool on percussion type stuff, but we're going to focus on just vocals today, and then I'll do a full mix with Oracle on the different instruments. And here we've got the dynamic, which is quite cool. So it kind of like ducks the signal and then brings in, it ducks the reverb and then brings in the reverb over time, just like a typical compressor. But instead of adding several effects to your reverb channel, everything is input here, and it looks nice as well. They've also got something called Sine scope visuals. So this line here will obviously, this line will fluctuate and show you what the reverb is actually doing. And it doesn't really do anything, it just kind of shows you what's happening, but it looks really, really cool. Okay, so before we get started, let's listen to the track Dry. Okay, so it's a typical vocal loop. That one's from Semantics. So let's activate this plugin and then start experimenting. Okay, off the bat, it sounds freaking amazing. Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what you need. So let's experiment with the different effects that we've got on the left here. Okay, so the imaging isn't thin. It kind of just washes it to the side, which is great. And you're not losing any of the substance of the reverb itself. That's good. Okay, so her vocal is quite high, so let's, oopsie. Let's just cut some of this out. Okay, so I'm just getting rid of the lows so it's not too muddy. Okay, so let's see what the saturation does. Okay, the saturation is just giving it some more grit, which is awesome. It would be great for lead synth pieces or parts. But like I said, I'll do a full song with Oracle on, and then we can make a proper assessment there. So for now, we're just going to do the vocal. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drive the saturation to a point where it sounds really, really bad, and then bring it down. actually doesn't sound too bad. Obviously, it's difficult to kind of get perspective when it's just the vocal. It should have been mixed with with an actual track, with a full song. But I just got this plugin, so I just wanted to do a quick review because I experimented a little bit yesterday, and it works really great. But yeah, so for now we're just going to do the vocal, and then next video I'll do Oracle with a full track. Okay, so let's look at the dynamics. Now, when you have reverb, chances are your reverb plugin has a pre-delay already built in. I mean, it comes standard with most reverbs. Actually, I think it comes standard with every reverb. But anyway, so we don't want the compressor to interfere with the pre-delay or vice versa. So I'm going to turn the pre-delay down, and we're going to kind of duck the reverb out of the way instead of the pre-delay. It's very subtle, but it does the job. It will be really interesting to see this on synths, percussion, that kind of thing. But all in all, on vocals and just straight up as it is, this is a great plugin. And the visuals are cool. Anyway. Great, so all in all, reverb, effects chains, I haven't really seen any. There probably are, but this one kicks ass. It's I got it on special, and it doesn't chow CPU at all. Definitely a win for me. But all of Soundspot plugins kind of has CPU usage in mind, which is why I love Soundspot. Most of the plugins, well, I've got most of their plugins, and they're all really kick ass. I'll probably be going through all of them because they're so cool. But yeah, today was Oracle just on vocals, and next video I'll make sure that it's on a full track, and then we can make a proper assessment from there. Anyway, thanks for joining me.